There we go. We are now recording. Okay, I will call the City of Reading Planning Commission workshop meeting for May 16th of 2023 to order. At the moment, we have Nelson DeLeon on Zoom, and I am Wayne Beeler. I am the chairman of the Planning Commission, and I am sure that our vice chairman, Wilson Pesey, will join us as soon as he has a chance. First on the list is the presentation of the sketch plan submission for the Mitsubishi Chemical Advanced Materials at 2120 Fairmont Avenue. And here in the room with us is Scott Miller and Mr. Maletsky, and they will be presenting the plan, and then I will turn it over to Jerome for any comments, unless you did submit a review.
Yeah, I want to go through this meeting and then we'll issue it.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I think then we'll have Scott speak first.
Yes, Scott go first.
Okay.
Good evening, Scott Miller with Spot Stevens and McCoy. We're here to present the sketch plan for the Mitsubishi Chemical Advanced Material property that's located between Fairmont Avenue, Alton Avenue, and Belmont Avenue. The plan consists of two parcels divided by an unopened alley. The intent is to combine the two parcels, vacate the alley, and put in a 39,000 square plus building for manufacturing purposes, for an extension of the existing uses that they're doing at the properties now. Mike, do you want to give them a quick overview about what is intended for the building?
Yep. So right now, manufacture products for higher end stuff, semicon, aerospace, U.S. military, and this building is an expansion to meet the growing needs of those industries looking forward with growth protection projections, especially on the semiconductor side. So,
And since you're in that industry, it's interesting that you're close to hydrogen, and not that makes parts for Sikorsky helicopters. So yes. Continue. I'm sorry.
So basically, Mitsubishi approached us about putting a building on this site. We looked at several layout options. The plan that's presented today shows that the blue area is the proposed building. In the lower left-hand corner, there would be a loading dock for the receiving and distribution of materials. And then the intent would be to the surrounding area would either be landscaped or would be provided with some on-site parking. The intent was to utilize some of their existing parking that's on the other properties in support of this property. They're going to have about 10 employees in this building. And based on the ordinance, it's 1 2/10 for on the maximum shift. For the parking, looks like we're going to be needing a total of 12 parking spaces. We do show 2 handicap, but we're still working on the layout of any additional parking maybe on the site. Stormwater we're going to look at. It's probably going to be an underground facility down in the lower left-hand corner. And then we do show some green area, but there was some discussion about possible sidewalk and or curbing. We will need to discuss about the development of that as we move forward with the plan. The intent was that this was supposed to be a presentation to give any type of feedback. We do know that the building coverage exceeds the zoning requirements. The building coverage is supposed to be 50%. We're at about 66%. But we were okay with the impervious coverage, which allows up to 90, and we're about 82%. So we will probably have to apply for zoning relief for the coverage. So, but again, any type of other zoning issues that are concerned, we'd like to make sure we get that incorporated in any application that we make. So, that's pretty much it. We don't have a building design yet. We're working on getting some architects on board. So, as we move forward, probably at the preliminary plan stage, we'll have a little bit more detail about what the building's gonna look like. It's gonna be one story. There won't be multiple stories in this. Again, that's pretty much it.
So the building will pretty much match existing. Doesn't have to be brick, but be similar in coloring and
That's still in the works.
Yeah.
If that's a concern, then yeah, obviously we will take that back and try to work with that. On that, I'm assuming that we would want to make sure that the side that faces Fairmont, which is near the residential area, would have a little bit better treatment than the other
Than the
sides.
other.
Yeah, because those basically face industrial and their other facilities back to back. So that if we were going to concentrate anything, that would probably be with anything decorative.
It's got 15 parking spaces on Belmont, those are existing, and that's what you would like to continue. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, correct.
We're working on a zoning amendment to possibly provide other options, and this like maybe one of them, but if you're going to go to the zoning hearing board for really, I think you should get verification. I would put in for a zoning variance for that as well, just because it's on the street.
Okay.
But if you have the space, that's what we utilize for now. Certainly, I think we serve that in any way.
The existing, my previous spaces that are here.
Not reserved, just that it use whatever. Generally, they're available. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would feel more comfortable going to zoning board.
That's fine.
With the landscaping and the trees, you can visit the or have the city arborist review this now, see if that's what they want. Looks perfectly acceptable, but they would make the final.
Okay.
And then the underground stormwater detention, that's going to be, I'm assuming is that in the landscaping area as well as the behind it, or I should say.
There'll be some piping in that green area on the right-hand side for storage, but the underground infiltration facility will most likely be underneath the asphalt paving. And then discharge into there's a storm system that's there now at the corner of Alton and Belmont. And I didn't mention that there's an existing building on the site that's just used for storage now. That will be demoed and removed as part of this project.
And as Scott mentioned, if you're not familiar with this site, there's actually no curbing on this street, on this side of the street. And the SADO ordinance requires at least curbing, but I'm not sure what.
The amendment now for Saldo and for sidewalks, it's in the Saldo now. It's taken out, sidewalk requirements are taken out of the zoning. They were put in subdivision land development. Curbs, same thing. So they'll be evaluated by my office as well as Public Works. Make a recommendation, they'll probably take into consideration what's acceptable within the neighborhood. We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, because that's my biggest concern, because there's nothing stopping the water that accumulates on Fairmont and Alton from washing right over the existing parking lot.
Yeah. Is there a handicap ramp at Walton and Fairmont? Or Alton?
Oh, can you bring up the Google Maps picture? of
Oh,
this
sure,
area?
yeah.
I think if you look at our survey base, we have curb returns at the intersection of Fairmont and Fulton. But then out, anything further to the right on Fairmont, there isn't anything. There is no curb, there is no, kind of,
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
yeah. But there looks like there's a handicap ramp on the other side of that.
Raised. Not what the tradition.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay.
I just dropped the little guy on Alton
Oh, okay.
and, there we go. There's the parking spaces. That's the storage area. I'll walk up the street.
Hang on just a second. I want to share it with the,
Oh, yeah,
our,
sure.
our
Go ahead.
Zoom friends.
Alton, yeah.
One moment.
That'd be nice.
Okay. So, all right. So there's the parking spaces on Belmont.
We'll walk up.
Ooh. Okay.
Then you can see that this area is sort of,
Yeah.
this area is sort of unique to the city of Reading. And my biggest question is, what does Public Works want to do with this?
That's something we'll evaluate.
So that's what my email earlier this week was referring to. You can see that there's a bit of curbing there,
It's on the other side.
yeah. But, you know, you know, like I said, that's something that we really need to evaluate. And like I said to Scott, my biggest thing is if we have a heavy rainfall, we don't want all that water rushing down off of the street into the building.
Scott, what also you can do, at this time is, submit a narrative on sewage flows.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a good thing too.
What's existing and what's projected, and then if the planning on was necessary.
Well, I don't think there's any sewer or it's been disconnected for a while
Oh, really?
in that building.
Only has been occupied for about 20 years.
So probably when you redid your Act 537 plan.
So we'll need a.
Because I love doing full modules.
Yeah, I'm sure it just makes your day.
It adds extra time.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
That's gonna be your slowest
yes.
component.
Yeah, yeah,
So luckily we don't have $10.
Yeah, yeah. And the.
That would be the other one.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, that was we have that covered as part of the scope that we're gonna be working on.
yeah, we have a project on Spook Lab now. It's been waiting a year for PennDOT. It's probably longer than that, yeah.
It's been as long as.
So-
Here.
Yeah. So feel blessed, Mr. Maletzky. Nelson, do you have any comments?
No other moment. Thank you.
Okay, Michelle?
Okay, I don't have anything.
Okay, great. Uh, Scott's pretty familiar with our process, so about stormwater and municipal improvements agreement. That's the other big thing that
Yeah.
Michelle will handle, but that's down the road.
Yeah, so I think the other question is that we will need to talk about the vacation of the alley, which the city will need to coordinate if they agree to that. So that will require some legal counseling.
Is that the ball wrong on that? Because I think it takes a while to get it the process.
Yeah, that's.
So we'll put that in the review letter, and for your point, you submit the preliminary / final. And that's what I would recommend, you go to preliminary / final. Okay?
Yeah.
On this project, and we'll, I think we should consider that right away, because that's gonna take time again to go through the process.
Can we consider a recommendation at our meeting
That
next
one's
week?
got- that one's got- It's gonna have to also finish.
Yeah. Right, okay, as soon as the petition's in, we'll listen, we'll do that right away for you, Scott.
Okay, good.
Because like I said, we just are working on a few down on Montgomery Avenue.
Check with with Tim Kroll, he has the guy who does the alley in his department. I don't know his name.
Oh, Christopher Lovell.
No, it's someone else, that has all the alley.
Okay,
Seen the alley.
okay. All of our information is listed as unnamed alley. So, but that, yeah, obviously, if there's something the city has that we don't have, then we'll double check that. So,
And that way you can verify it, so on. Their best,
yeah, also the descriptions also, the two parcels label it as. All right, any other questions about the projects?
No, I don't think so. Can you think of anything? Yeah,
Appreciate the time tonight. These were all helpful. Right? So,
no, it's, like I said, this is a unique,
Look for our review on Thursday or Friday, and then, we'll discuss it again on next Tuesday.
okay.
yeah, this is sort of a unique site in that, it's just the macadam goes right from the street, right over everything. Obviously, it was done in the 70s. They used to love to do that kind of stuff in the 70s.
Excellent.
So, just double checking, no one, anything else from Nelson? Okay,
No.
great.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for coming in, Scott. As always, it's a pleasure when you come in.
Thank you.
No, thank you for joining us. Like I said, there's a few questions about this one that,
Yeah, but we got this house on the table, which is the important thing, so we can start discussing.
yeah,
If something works with coming in, getting, getting a thrown a curve.
right,
Getting too far down on the engineering side. So
yeah.
That's why I like doing this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good
Right,
evening.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the zoning and saldo amendments phase 2 update.
Okay, we are in the process of doing the phase 2 amendments. Some of the highlights are going to be the adaptive reuse as well as parking. Those are the two major ones. That's going to be quite an impact within the city of Reading on just those two alone. So we are currently working internally, staff-wise, and hope to have a release at our workshop session next month.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's always a lot of details on this.
Or I'm on just.
Well, yeah, that too.
Well, Brandy can tell you. We have,
There's some,
we have style.
there's a wide range of opinions about it. Yes.
We'll be bringing you in soon, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
No,
some legal things.
well, I'm just glad that we have, now on staff, we have a wide variety of voices. Michelle's been here a long time. You have experience from other municipalities, and Brandy's kind of like the new voice. So
Oh, we also have Shady.
yeah, so, I think. Yeah, I think that's, that's a good way to approach this. That's one thing that, when I joined the city 17 years ago, everyone was here forever. And everyone had the same idea as to what the answer is.
With the adaptive reuse, we've had at least 12 different applications in the last 3 years come in, all different. and all have, different uses. Redevelopment of the buildings are different, the occupancy of the buildings are different. So in order to accomplish, and we also have some that are in the process of submitting applications, but cannot because they're gonna be in, there's gonna be a conflict with zoning right away. So, we're trying to work around those and, because I think the adaptive reuse provisions will be utilized quite a bit within the city of Reading because it can benefit a lot of redevelopment opportunities. And then also the same goes with the parking requirements, where there's going to be a lot of discussion between the parking authority and the planning office and the zoning office. So we're trying to work out some ideas. The section on parking and loading is completely needs to be revamped.
Yeah, good point. Do you have any questions, Nelson?
No, I'm interested in hearing that we're working on parking solutions and things like that. So that's one of my major concerns in the city, the parking issue.
There'll be a few other, but I mean, those are the highlights that are going to be in our next trims.
Very good. If we have nothing else on that, we'll move on to the community planning assessment and
Hello.
inventory update. Hi, Harv,
Oh,
are they in the third floor conference room?
They're supposed to be in the pen room. They're supposed to-
right, yes, the
Oh,
hard
they might
meeting
be in
is,
council chambers.
it's, I think it's HUD. The hard meeting was actually rescheduled to next week because of the election taking place in the pen room. This is planning commission workshop.
Hey, sit down. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
My name is Reverend Bynes. I just moved to town in August.
Oh, no. Please join us. No. No, this, Nelson Leon here is a commission member. And Michelle Mayfield is our solicitor.
Okay. That's all of us up there.
Nice to see you.
But this is the workshop session, so it's.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So feel free to join us.
Thank
Even if we had a regular session, you can always join us. We might not listen to you. But usually if, it's something related to planning, we add you on to the end.
Okay.
So, and depending on, we're actually working on a church right now.
Really?
In fact, that's,
Too, yeah.
yeah, that's right. We're working on 2 churches right now. So you might wind up here someday.
3 churches. Holy
If we
Trinity Church,
do, Iglesia Pentecostal,
Gospel, and,
Licky's Mennonite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the one out over there on Ken Horse Boulevard. Used to be Detweiler Animal Hospital. So,
all right.
but yeah, so, yeah. So any updates on the community planning assessment?
Okay, so we have a draft that's put together. It needs to be personalized and updated to basically put the planning office's spin on the goals, objectives, and policies. We expect that also to be released next month, and that's going to be utilized for other applications that would involve grant applications for a potential comprehensive plan, as well as just as a guideline, again, follow for goals, objectives, and policies as it relates to planning and zoning as we move forward. But it looks like we have the 9 original objectives or items that we selected. Plus, there's 10 others that we also identified. So we're putting those packages together. The draft will be then distributed to the planning commission for further review. So that's basically what it's going to look like.
Yeah, great.
So each each of the, which one is that? That's.
Oh, this was the earlier version with, right,
So
it
each
just
of those-
shows
Each
all
of those topics now has a one-page theme on partnerships, where we go from here. What are the implications of that we need to look out for? And again, with the established goals that we provided for each of those. So that's where we're at.
Very good. Any questions, Nelson?
Chairman,
Okay, very good. Okay, at this point, I wanted to bring up a few topics related to planning. In today's 16th?
it is, yes.
Okay. I didn't see it in today's paper, so it must going to be published in tomorrow's paper, most likely, because this came out in the afternoon review. The headline is Reading City Council President wants stricter guidelines before allocating ARPA funds to small businesses. The interesting thing about this is that I was thinking about these ARPA funds earlier in the day before this article came out, and I was thinking, you know, we really need an update on Supernatural Foods. They just received $1.5 million, and we haven't seen paperwork from them yet. They got $750,000 from the city. They got $750,000 from the county. But yet there's no work going on in that location. So that means that they now have in their possession almost $5 million in community assets. Because they have a loan from the Community First Fund. They have a previous loan from the city. They have an ARPA loan from the city. They have an ARPA loan from Berks. And, you know, I hate to harp on this, but I said back in 2020 that this isn't going to fly because of the problems we had on their previous project, but nobody listens to me. So I was hoping that they would be able to get things squared away once we had those on-site meetings, but you know, maybe I'm too much of an optimist.
Next time we get the end of the.
Okay. That's a good idea. Because they do have an approved.
They do, yeah, and the last time it was reaffirmed was in January,
Okay.
so that deadline ran out in April.
So we would need to do
Waiting to hear.
another affirmation because they probably don't have their municipal improvements agreement and all that fun stuff done. Okay. All right, so I just asked for us to look into that in coordination with what the city council is doing on this, because you know, it would be one of the most fantastic projects in the city if it could get done.
I think that was that was 2 winters ago. That was the last time we got snow.
Yeah, that's right. Because Nelson was there with us.
yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Nelson was there with us because he was helping to translate. So yeah.
We'll look into that.
Okay, yeah. Next thing, a few weeks ago, there was a article in the newspaper about that council has to approve the Parks and Rec plan.
They should, yes. The Park and Rec plan is done on 10-year cycles. And it was last updated and I thought it was approved last year, but I guess council needs to do that by resolution.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw it. It has to go through us first.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw it.
We have it. Do we need to just put it on?
Just distribute it then if we have it. Or put it on the FTP site so we can download it.
Works almost the same as a comprehensive plan. Planning commission would make a official recommendation to the council. that your experience, Michelle?
Sorry, I keep it on mute so you don't hear my dog.
No, that's okay. That's okay. What was I listening to the other day? It was some sort of podcast or something that the dog went berserk. And then the last thing, if I can find the piece of paper. I was not able to attend the zoning hearing board meeting this last week. So I do not know what the status of 601 Penn Street is. So if we could just receive an update at next week's meeting, maybe Tom has some. We'll just have the.
Yeah,
Okay.
But Shannon's still in that position,
Oh, okay.
as we'll get it done.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah.
yeah, they did present, so they wouldn't have had the
And
the
then
outcome
and
right
then
right then.
Also work. Building boards were
Oh, great, yeah. Yeah, Ruth was in here a long time, so. And then Emily's very competent, I know, so. We'll get through this. It's not like we haven't had not had a zoning administrator before. So, did you have anything else to add, Nelson?
No, thank you.
So, since, Reverend Bonds,
Yes, sir.
yes, you've recently moved to the area?
So we closed on our house on August 31st of last year. We moved to 401 Louis Street, corner of Old North Fork.
Oh, you're my neighbor. I live at Fifth and Spring, right by the Turkey Hill,
Okay, I know you're talking.
right on the corner.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, welcome to Reading, sir. And do you have a congregation or?
I'm a pastor in the city of Trenton in New Jersey. So I travel back and forth Tuesday nights, except for tonight, Thursday night and Sundays. And I work in New Jersey also. So I go there 6 days a week. My job.
Wow.
So it's only an hour and 20 one way.
My wife used to travel to Peanut Park and she thought that was terrible.
I got used to it.
Yeah. But,
Without me.
no,
I was supposed to, I was thinking it was a hard meeting tonight. But it's good I came. I'm here.
yeah, no, we welcome you. And like I said, if it turns out that you do wind up with a congregation here in Reading and you need some help with an expansion or whatever, we are here to help. It might seem like a terrible labyrinth to go through everything, but we are here to help you navigate.
That's reassuring. My experience since we moved here has been very negative. Different things that we've experienced since we moved here.
Yeah.
Between neighbors and even the great city, some of the officials here. So I mean, I know everyone's not the same, because I'm the same personality. I think you guys are pleasant. Billy on Michelle, everyone here. And that's reassuring. That just gives me more confidence that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, part of the problem is that we've had a lot of turnover during Act 47. We've been in Act 47 for years, so nobody ever got a raise. So we've had a lot of turnover because people go to other positions. Hopefully that will stabilize now that we're out of Act 47.
So did that generate unqualified people?
No, we've had actually very, very many qualified people, but the problem is about hiring qualified people as soon as as soon as the position opens up that pays more money, they're gone. For example, Mr. Thomas was the head of planning, 2 administrators ago. There was a position opened up in Lower Marion, which I bet she's getting paid twice what we're able to offer. And of course, and it's close to his home. He lives in Exeter, so it's a much less commute for him. But you know, that's the thing. It's a great learning experience to be here, but it's not for everybody.
I understand.
The other thing that you should do, since you live at 401 Oley Street, is on either Sundays or Sunday mornings or Monday afternoon, go over to the Center Park Historic District headquarters. It says Artifacts Bank. It's across the street from Royer's Flowers.
Yeah.
And go there and meet Mr. Mike Lauder. He is the executive director of Center Park. And he will be able to cut through a lot of the red tape for you. And explain a lot of stuff. He was on a planning commission member for 12 years. So he knows, and he's been the executive director of Center Park for like 15 now. So he's very, very involved with the city, and he also understands all the historic architectural review boards.
And staff wise, he's spoken to Amy Johnson.
No, I got a letter.
Okay. Amy's the staff.
Yeah, but yeah, if you can catch Mike, Amy's a very hard person to catch just because she's buried in work. But if you can go over and talk to Mike, he'll be able to give you a heads up about stuff, and he can probably also give you a 100-year history on your problem. So
I it was a historical district. I just thought it was just the only thing historical was the statue, Civil War general.
yeah, so yeah. So like I said, Mike will be able to help you cut through the red tape, explain a lot of details for you, and get you on the right path.
Mike Lauer, right?
Yep, Lauter. Okay, you're very welcome. Do you have any suggestions, Nelson?
No, I think that you provided some good recommendations. I used to live at 935 North 3rd Street, so I'm familiar with the area and what you mentioned. It's a very nice neighborhood. So, welcome to the area.
Very good. I'm glad you dropped by, and hopefully we've provided some guidance, because like I said, the City Hall can be a labyrinth sometimes. And that's one of the reasons why I actually started my own nonprofit business in the city of Reading to see what it would take to open it.
I was there.
So, once again, because of Act 47 and nobody in buildings and trades, it took me 13 months to get all my permits. But, you know, things are quite a bit different though now, because we now have a lot more building inspectors than we used to. So, because once again, out of Act 47, they were allowed to hire some more people, and you know, things are moving forward. So, but you were always welcome to sit in, and if it's always a hybrid meeting, so you can always contact Brandy for the Zoom. Brandy is right here.
Okay.
Brandy Davis, and then she can provide you with the with the Zoom link in case you ever need it.
What's the schedule for meetings?
Oh, our workshop meeting is the third Tuesday of the month. And our regular meeting is the fourth Tuesday of the month. That's our voting meeting. Today is just for informal discussions on the plan. We had a plan here from actually in the 17 years I've been here, this company has never come before the planning commissions, which is surprising because they've been here a long time. But yeah.
And Mr. Chairman, just to add to your kind statements, the agenda is posted on the website. So if he's interested to see what's going on, you can check
Thank
the
you.
website.
Speaking words.
I can bring it up.
Okay, very good. We will move on to the meeting agenda for next week.
All right. Right.
Our agenda will have the Wawa that had the Berks County Planning Commission review it. So that's just a matter of now just going through the formal process of approving. Lipke's has submitted revised plans, and we should be in a position to consider preliminary / final approval on that project. The Mitsubishi chemicals, which we just heard of the presentation today, we will have a sketch plan,
Sketch, that should be sketch, that's in.
and no action will be taken on the sketch plan, but we'll give the guidance to go forward and move forward with the preliminary / final plan. Holy Trinity is we didn't get anything
Not yet.
from them, so that may be taken off the agenda since maybe we'll have an update for the street vacation and no parking. I don't know if that's, they were waiting for that to be accomplished. And then one other, Bird Street, car wash at Bird Street storage. They submitted partial information that as a result of our discussion with Urban Sidewalk, I provided them the note that they need to put on the plan. They put that note on the plan. They still need to adjust their escrow to reflect that requirement. So it's just going to be that point being made. Doesn't necessarily have to be on the agenda, but they still need to do a couple of things.
Then I see that 625 McKnight Street parking is up for reaffirmation. The reason I bring this up is that there was an article about the committee of the whole meeting where the chairman of the parking authority was talking about all the holdups that planning and zoning is giving to them. And
it was mostly the zoning hearing board, and that as everyone knows, it's procedural requirements that need to be accomplished. We've approved that plan with conditions, so it's we're stopping it.
And we have the signed and sealed version, so as soon as it's reaffirmed, we can get it through endorsement and get it out the door.
because, for example, the parking lot off of 4th Street, right across the street from their new headquarters, that never went through us, which it was supposed to. And the parking lot on the 900 block of Penn Street should have gone through us, but it did not. So I don't know what they're complaining about. because both of those parking lots have more than 10 spaces. So that's what I figure, because, hey, they're trying to accomplish their mission, and there was nothing that had to be structurally reviewed there, unlike this plan. So I'm not going to make a big deal about it. So, anything about the other reaffirmations, or is just regular?
They're just regular. I'm hoping that I can maybe knock some off by the time we get to next week. I need to collect some plan escrow for a couple of them. I spoke with Aristides today about the Burks Pavilion, so there, it might be a shorter list next week, but they're just the regular, they've been approved. It's just wrapping up a few details.
Right.
We do have our 3 extensions coming up. Oh, and yeah, and Holy Trinity might actually be on this list as well. So I can add that as well.
Good luck contact, because that was their last chance.
Okay,
Yeah, we haven't heard. We haven't a while.
743. We know that will be denied because they did not, they were not successful with zoning.
Okay.
so
So that one will ultimately be denied, and we'll have to send out correspondence to them, and we'll have to coordinate that with Michelle.
and then the Iglesia, we spoke with Dan last month about this. So we just have to do another extension
and that-
for it.
They did what they were supposed to do. They accomplished one, the zoning hearing board gave them an extension. And 2, we got an update on the PennDOT situation. And 3 was the site accessibility between the laundromat and their property. So
Right.
they are putting everything in motion. They submitted an alternate idea, and I think the zoning is going.
Great. At least it's moving forward now that they have an attorney
Yeah,
working on it.
I think we're comfortable.
Yeah, great. Okay. And then planning commission minutes, if or Brandy has a chance to work on them.
So I'm gonna do this weekend.
Yeah, hey, that's one of the toughest things of the job, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So. All right, does anyone else have anything for the good of the order?
Mr. Chairman, since it was mentioned before, I'm sorry. Those supernatural products need a time extension, or where we are with them?
It would need a reaffirmation.
A reaffirmation.
Yeah, it's been
What-
approved.
And they're still working on the conditions. And the biggest condition is PennDOT.
Yeah. Okay,
So there
how
wouldn't
soon we
be
need that?
It's really up to the applicant. I mean, we could leave it in limbo until they're ready. So there is no really deadline on a reaffirmation. It's because it's gonna go past 90 days. It's required to record the plan.
Yeah.
Our procedure usually, Nelson, is if they're waiting on PennDOT, we wait on PennDOT. So, but I just have some other concerns because there should be work going on there that has nothing to do with PennDOT.
Yeah, I'm going to an activity tonight. The owner might be there, so let me agree with him on that. If I see him.
Okay.
Because he might be, out of the loop, he doesn't know what's going on. Hopefully not, but you never know.
That's very possible.
Yeah. I'll find out and report back.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. And with that, unless we have something else, I will adjourn the meeting.
All right. Good night. I like this one, short and sweet.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good night, Michelle. Good night.
Good
Nelson.
night. Bye. Good night, Randy.
Well, it's Catholic school.